In today's video, we will debunk 5 fitness myths and see what is actually true. Are you ready? So let's get started.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, this you crazy mother.
Myth number 1, soreness indicates a good workout. Or no pain, no gain. Bro, don't you think you exaggerate a bit?
Don't you know, man? The greater the pain, the greater the gain.
Well, you do yours.
12 seconds later.
I was also someone who thought the greater the pain, the greater the gain. But unfortunately or fortunately, this is not true. And I'm talking not only about the pain during the workout, but especially the one after the workout. Also known as delayed onset muscle soreness. And it is caused by especially eccentric, that means muscle lengthening movements. But fact is, only mild or moderate soreness indicates a good workout. But why? Muscle pain is caused by microtraumas in the muscle fibers, accompanied with an inflammatory response. But if they are not microtraumas anymore, but bigger ones, that means severe, it can cause mechanical and neuromuscular injuries, with possible long-term side effects. The muscle gets destabilized and is more prone to injuries, and the accumulated waste products can even damage your kidneys. Let's put it like that, the body is focused more on rehabilitation and bringing back normal physiological function, decreasing the inflammatory response and so on, than actually building up muscle. And I guess that makes sense. So keep in mind, muscle soreness is muscle damage, but should not be muscle injury. And soreness does therefore not necessarily define a successful workout. Number 2, sit-ups and crunches give you abs. Wow, you're really dedicated, man. I admire that.
Thanks, man. I'm just dreaming about this six-pack.
Are you sure this is really the best way to get a six-pack?
Of course, man. How else?
Well, unfortunately, it is not that easy. But let me tell you something. Abs are made in the kitchen. What does that mean? Every one of us has abs. The thing is, often it's just covered by a layer of fat. So what are the steps you need to take if you want visible abs? First of all, lose body fat. Keep a healthy diet and a state of calorie deficit. And as soon as you get rid of the fat layer, you can increase the volume of your abs. By the way, regarding the diets, in a future video I will have a look on the most common ones and see which actually are working the best. If you like the video so far, support my fitness science channel with a like and subscribe for more useful information. Every subscriber is appreciated. Of course, you can also train crunches and sit-ups to lose fat, but I think that cardio is definitely a more efficient method. And then push these ab exercises. Perfect transition from myth number 2 to myth number 3, getting rid of fat on specific regions of your body.
Oh, man, what are you doing again?
Whew. Yeah, you know, just want to lose weight, but just right here. Guys, you can't just lose fat on wherever region you want to lose it. As I was doing my research for this video, I came across so many pages where they just claim that you can lose body fat at only your belly, for example, only your hips, which is just bullshit. There is just no physiological or biochemical reason how you can do that. It's a common misconception, but you have to understand that if you train your abs, you do not train the fat layers which are covering them. Instead, you of course train the muscle itself. Regarding the fat disposition, until now it's not 100% clear why fat is accumulating at specific spots on our body. But fact is, your genes play a big role in that. Some regions, for example the belly, just have more fat cells or adipocytes. And when you're gaining weight and in a calorie plus, the calories are stored in form of fat in these fat cells. Why they gain in size. That's actually a very interesting topic, and how that exactly functions, I think I will make an extra video about that. So stay up to date. So let me say that one more time. Training the muscle under the fat layer will not burn the fat layer. Myth number 4, stretching before a workout prevents injuries.
Damn, how could that happen? I was stretching for 20 minutes, man.
This is partly true. In fact, it can even cause injuries. It depends how you stretch. While stretching can be divided into dynamic and static stretching. While static stretching is good after a workout, it can be counterproductive and damaging before. Because your muscle is cold, that means less blood flow. And that means your muscle at that stage is not elastic at all. The muscle cannot adapt to the instant stress, so this might be problematic. Dynamic stretching in turn is very good before a workout, because you move and warm up at the same time, and the mild stretching leads to a step-by-step adaptation. If you want to learn more about that, check out this video. And the last myth, you can't gain muscle mass with own bodyweight workouts.
So you're still doing this calisthenics?
Bro, I tell you, you will never build up any muscle like that. Yeah, right, I completely forgot. Check out all these calisthenic athletes like Chris Harrier, Andrea La Rosa, and all these gymnasts in the world. Just look at these tiny arms, jeez. And the abs, it's just because they're lean. Obviously, I'm kidding, guys. At the end of the day, you still push or pull weight. Your body weight. But I have to say that it is easier to build up muscle mass in the gym. Because you have these additional weights which give your musculature more stimuli to grow. That's why it's a bit more difficult to gain muscle mass when doing only on bodyweight exercises, as your body adapts to the stimuli pretty fast. And in the gym, you just put on some extra weights. But there are still many ways what you can do if you're training with your own body weight only, just like I do. You can add variations to your workout. You can do more repetitions, for example, while doing push-ups, and therefore increase intensity. You can also make transitions and make push-ups more difficult, for example, transitioning from push-ups to handstand push-ups, and while that you can learn new skills. And of course, you can use a weight vest, which I can actually really recommend to you. Hope you learned something new today. Stay healthy, and see you in the next video.
What
the heck is wrong with you? Are you making fun of pregnant women who looks like that?